Yeah, good afternoon students. So today we will be learning a very important topic and which is very important from the competitive point of view, that is if a student is appearing for IIT, JEE Mains, Advanced or NEET. The topic name is Young double slit experiment. As you all know that the interference of light was successfully experimented by a scientist so known as Thomas Young, and the experiment was so known as Young double slit experiment. So let us start with this, let us start with the numericals which are very important from the competitive point of view. So the first numerical is as follows. The first numerical, if you see here, we consider an optical system shown in the figure. The point source of light S is having a wavelength equal to lambda. This is a point source of light which is having a wavelength lambda. The light is reaching the screen only after reflection. That is very important point. The light is reaching the screen only after reflection. So for a point P to be the second maxima, if you see this is a screen, and in the screen there is a point P, and it is found that on the screen P there is the second maxima forming, then what can be the value of lambda? Then what can be value of lambda? So now how to deal with such type of problem? If you see over here, so what is given to you right now, you have given a two plane mirror. You have given a two plane mirror and the source is placed such that a distance from the mirror 1, say M1, is given to you as D, and a distance from the second mirror is given to you as TD, 3D. Now we have a screen over here and the distance of the source to the screen is capital D, and we have a point P in just front along the line of M1, and it has been said that at point P the second maxima is formed. Second maxima is formed. So now what they are telling, if the second maxima is formed over there, then what is the wavelength of the monochromatic light source S? We have to use it. Now you know that interference pattern is only, a sustained interference pattern is only obtained when the two sources are coherent. So first we have to find the two sources. What are the two sources and how are they coherent? So now what we will do here, this is a source of light S. Now this will behave as an object for the mirror M1, and we will get an image at a distance D back to the mirror. Say this is S1. So we got one of the coherent sources S1. Now again this S will behave as an object for the second mirror, say M2, and now we will get the image behind the mirror at a distance of 3D. And this image will act as the second coherent source S2. So now we have got the two coherent source S1 and S2, and then when the wave from S1 and S2 will superimpose, we will get some interference pattern on the screen, and it has been seen that at point P we are getting the second maxima. So now what is the formula? For example, S1 like this, it is reaching to a point P, it is reaching to a point P. Now at point P we are getting second maxima. So what is the path difference actually? The path difference delta x is equal to y small d by capital D, where y is the distance from the center of the screen to the point of observation, small d is the distance between the two slits, and capital D is the distance between the slit and the screen. This should be equal to n lambda for any maxima, and at point P we want the second maxima, so put n is equal to 2 over here. So we get y small d by d is equal to 2 lambda, equation number 1. Now what we have to find it out, we have to find the small d and capital D. Since you all students have gone through the YDSE in your second intermediate syllabus, you know small d is the distance between the two coherent sources. Means this is one coherent source, this is another coherent source. So what is the distance between the two coherent sources? Can you tell me? Yes, it is D plus 3D plus 3D. That is the distance between the two coherent sources, and this is taken as 8D. So we got this as y into 8D upon capital D is equal to 2 lambda. Now what is y actually? What is y? You know that y is the distance from the center of the screen to the point of observation. So how to find the center of the screen? That is the question. So nothing you have to do. What you have done in YDSE, what you have done, you have to draw a perpendicular bisector from the, we have to draw a perpendicular bitractor from the center of the slit. This is 8D. So what is the center of 8D? S1 and S2 are separated by a distance of 8D. So what is the center of this one? That is 4D. So from 4D, that is this is 3D, this is 3D, say this is D, say this is D. So you draw this one like this. This is the axis. So now this is 3D, this is D, so this will become 4D. So if this is 4D, then from S1 to this distance is also 4D. It means now this will act at the center of the screen. And now what is Y? And what is Y, you know? What is Y? It is the distance, from the center of the screen to the point of observation P. So now what is the distance? It is very clear that this distance will be equal to 3D. This distance will be equal to 3D because now this distance will become 2D. This distance is D, and therefore the Y distance, that is the distance from the center of the screen to the point of observation, is taken as 3D. So now we got the value of Y also. We will put the value of Y as 3D here. So 3D into 8D upon capital D is equal to 2 lambda. This 2 and this will get cancelled. So we will get 12D square by D as lambda. Therefore the wavelength of the light, the wavelength of the monochromatic light S is given as 12D square, 12 small d square by capital D. So which option is correct? Can you see over here? Which option is correct over here? Which option is correct over here? The option first, 12D square by D is correct. So therefore you can get the answer as A. So this is the first numerical, and why it is important? Why it is important? Just because it has the combination of again two concepts. One is YDSC along with the mirror combination. So this is the first question. Now let us go to the second question right now. So answer 1A is correct. Now the second numerical. Now what is the second numerical? The white light is used to illuminate the two slits in YDSE. The separation between the two slits is small b, and the screen is at a distance d that is greater than capital B. Means that now the distance between the slit and the screen is small d they have taken, and the distance between the two slits they have taken as small b. At a point on the screen directly in front of the slit, listen this point very carefully, at a point on the screen directly in front of one of the slit, certain wavelengths are missing. When you say that a certain wavelengths are missing, what do you mean by certain wavelengths are missing? They are the dark fringes. What they are? They are the dark fringes. And then what they are asking you again, they are asking you that what some of these missing wavelengths are as follows. So what is given to you? First we will go through it, what is given, and then we can go for the concepts. So according to the question, what is given to you here, you can see over here, the distance between the slit and the screen, this is the center of this is the center of the screen, the distance between the slit and the screen is given to you as small d right now, and the distance between the two slits, say this is S1, this is S2, this slit distance is given to you as b. And this is the center, so this will be b by 2, and this is also b by 2. Now what they have given, that at a point on the screen directly in front of one of the slit, now you can take any one of the slit, either S1 you can take or either S2 you can take. If you take S1, in front of S1 some fringes are missing, means this is the observation point, say P, and you know that the distance between the center to the point of observation where the interference pattern is obtained is known as Y. So they are asking you what are the wavelength or wavelength for the corresponding missing fringes. So now you know that, you know the formula of Y. What is the formula of Y as? This is Y. So not what you can write it that Y is equal to 2n minus 1 lambda by 2 capital D by small d dash, where capital D is the distance between the slit and the screen, which I will keep as a small d. D dash is the distance, D dash is the distance between the two slits, that is b by 2 and b by 2, that is equal to b only, and Y is the point of observation. So Y is how much? If it is very clear that Y is equal to b by 2. Now, this is y is equal to 2n minus 1 lambda by 2 capital D by small d dash. Why we are using it? Because we know that the path difference, which is equal to y d dash by capital D, should be equal to 2n minus 1 lambda by 2 for the dark fringes or for the missing fringes. Now, if you see over here, so you can get y as equal to 2n minus 1 lambda by 2 capital D by D dash. So, now y is equal to b by 2 as according to the question here. I write y is equal to b by 2 is equal to 2n minus 1 lambda by 2. D is the distance between the slit and the screen, which is given as small d, and d dash is the distance between the two slits, that is given as small b. So, now what I will get over here, this 2 and this 2 will get cancelled. So, I will get b square upon 2n minus 1 into d is equal to lambda. This is equation number 1. Now, you start using here, now you start n equal to 1, n equal to 2 and n equal to 3, and we can get what are the different values of missing fringes. So, I will put n equal to 1. If I put n equal to 1, I will get as b square by d. If I put n equal to 2, I will get 2 4 minus 1 3 b square by 3d. If I put n equal to 3, then 3 6 5 n b square by 5d and so on. So, now you can see likewise what are the options which are correct. Now, come to this one, these are the correct option and we can get it up to whatever n equal to 3, 4, 5, 6 and so on. So, now you come over here, so what are the options which are matching? B square by d, yes, we are getting this b square by d, A option. We are not getting 2b square by d, b is wrong. B square by 3d, yes, we are getting b square by 3d. And then b square by 5d, there is no other option like this. So, what are the option corrected? A and C are the correct option. A and C are the correct option. So, you can see over here what are the option correct are A and C. This is a multiple choice question C. There has been asked in IIT JEE, which may be expected. This type of question may be expected in JEE mains also. So, this is a very important question with a multiple choice one. Now, we will go to the next one now. Yeah. Numerical 3, now will come, that is very important. Again, this is in previous IIT JEE 2003 question, and if you see it, what is given to you, now we have a CP as a plane wavefront. This is a CP, you can see over here, this is a CP, this is a plane wavefront. We have two rays, one is AC and one is BP, and you also know that the rays are always perpendicular to the wavefront. Okay. Now, find the condition of theta for constructive interference at point P. Now, this is a mirror over here. So, one ray is coming from A to C, C to O, and it is reflected from O to P, and the another ray is coming to B to P. Again, I am telling you, one ray is coming from A to C, C to O. When it is coming on O, there is a mirror over here, and the reflection takes place, and therefore, it will reflect back to O to P, and another ray is B to P. So, now the two rays, which are the two rays? One is O to P and one is B to P. They are interfering at point P, and a constructive interference is formed at point P. So, what is the value of angle theta? That is the angle of incidence for the ray CO or OP. So, now how to do this type of question? Let us consider some numerical part. Okay, now, so we have what I have given. They have given you one plane wavefront. This plane wavefront they have given as you CP. This plane wavefront they have given you CP. Okay, there are two rays. One is AC. One is one ray AC. Another ray is BP. Now this ray is moving somewhat like this. Say this is a mirror over here. This is a point of incidence on the mirror. Say O, and then it is reflecting back like this OP. Now OP, if I draw a normal over here, directly normal over here, straight, this distance is given to you at D. This distance is given to you at D. This is a straight one, this is given to you at D. This is theta, this is theta. And the point P, the distance between the mirror and the point P is given as small d. Okay, you can see very easily on the screen. You can see on the screen that D is the distance, D is the perpendicular distance from the mirror to the point P, that is the vertical distance. Now what you will do here, try to understand the concept over here. Now what to do? Now first of all, there are two waves or two rays which are meeting at point P. One is the reflected ray OP, which is coming from A to C, C to O and then O to P. Another one is B to P. These two waves superimpose to get a constructive interference. CI means constructive interference at point P. So what is the path difference? What is the path difference for constructive interference? You know, N lambda. Now what we'll do, first we'll find the path difference. So what is the path difference over here? Let us start. The ray is moving from A to C, AC, then C to O plus CO plus OP plus OP. This is the first ray, but when it is reflecting from the mirror, you know that there is an abrupt phase change of pi will come. There is an abrupt phase change of pi will come when it is reflecting from O to and it is coming towards P, and therefore as a result there will be additional path difference of lambda by 2 will take place. Therefore when you are taking the reflected one OP, you have to add the additional path difference lambda by 2, because when the ray is reflecting from any of the mirror, then there will be an abrupt phase change of pi, and you know when there is an abrupt phase change of pi, like this here, pi, there will be an abrupt path difference of lambda by 2. So you have to add it like this, lambda by 2. So now you got AC plus CO plus OP, this is the one of the ray. Another one is BP. So this minus BP will give you the path difference delta x. This is the path difference delta x. And this delta x should be equal to L lambda. Now what we will do here right now, you can see AC is equal to BP. You can cut AC and BP likewise. So now you get delta x is equal to OC plus OP plus lambda by 2, and delta x should be equal to what, beta? Delta x should be equal to what? L lambda at point P to be constructive interference. So I can write as OC plus OP plus lambda by 2 equal to L lambda. We can start with n equal to 1, n equal to 2. Since it is a single correct, we start with n equal to 1. Say n is equal to 1. So we got OC plus OP plus lambda by 2 is equal to lambda, or OC plus OP is equal to lambda by 2, equation number 1. Now we have to calculate OC and OP. What we have to calculate? OC and OP. Then only we can get theta. So what is OC here and what is OP here? So first we go for this OP. If I draw a perpendicular line over here, if this angle is theta, this angle is also theta. So now if I want OP, so you can see this triangle, say this is Q, OQP, it is a right angle triangle, OQP, then what you will get here? Cos theta, I will write here, cos theta is equal to, we can write D, that is equal to QP upon OP, or OP is equal to D by cos theta, equation number 2. So we got OP now, right now. What you got here? We got the OP as D by cos theta. Now what is left? OC. Now for OC what I will do right now? You can see a right angle triangle. You can see this ray is perpendicular. This ray is perpendicular to the wavefront, and this is also 90 degree. So now you can take a triangle OCP, right angle at C. It is very clear because the rays are perpendicular to the wavefront. So now if you take this whole angle as theta, so what is cos 2 theta? What is cos 2 theta? Now what will be cos 2 theta? Can you tell me? What can be the cos 2 theta? This is base OC upon OP. So OC will be equal to OP cos 2 theta, equation number 3. So what I got OP, I got OC. I put the value of OP at D by cos theta and OC at OP cos 2 theta over here. So what I will get? OC as OP cos 2 theta plus OP. OC you have written as OP cos theta, okay, plus OP. OP can be taken as D by cos theta, or like this. So what we will get over here? So we get OC is equal to OP cos 2 theta and this. So if we put over here, so we will get D by cos theta common, cos 2 theta plus 1 is equal to lambda by 2. Now if I want to solve this one here, if I want to solve it here, what I will get here? So if I solve this here, so I will get D by cos theta is equal to cos 2 theta. What is the formula of cos 2 theta? 2 cos square theta minus 1 plus 1 is equal to lambda by 2. Or 1 and minus 1 will get cancelled. So what I will get right now is here, and 1 cos theta will cancel. So 2D cos theta is equal to lambda by 2. Or I can write that cos theta is equal to lambda by 4D, or theta can be written as cos inverse lambda by 4d. Theta can be written as cos inverse lambda by 4d. So which option? Now you can come over here and you can see that cos theta is coming out to be lambda by 4d, or theta is equal to cos inverse lambda by 4d. Now you come to the option. Which option is correct? Cos theta is lambda by 4d. The B option is correct over here. Which option is correct over here? The B option is correct over here, and therefore we got this answer. Now, so this is again a very easy question from again kept in IIT JEE 2003. The answer B is correct. Now, numerical number 4, a very important question. Numerical number 4. Now, if you read this, we have the two coherent point sources. S1 and S2. You can see over here on the screen. This is S1, this is S2. Vibrating in the phase, emit a light of wavelength lambda. Okay, the separation between these two sources is 2 lambda. Consider a line passing through S2 and is perpendicular to line SS1. This is a line. See, this is a line. Find the position of farthest and nearest minima. What is the position of farthest and nearest minima they are talking you? Now come to the point over here. What exactly is given to you? We have given S1, S2 like this. This distance is given to you at 2 lambda. We have a line perpendicular to it. Say we have some point P. Let's say the distance is d, which is variable. Now what they are asking you, they are asking you what is the position of, you can see over here what they are asking you. They are asking you the last line, you can see what is the position of farthest and nearest minima. So you have to get what are the farthest and nearest minima. Now how to get the farthest and nearest minima? First you should know what is the maximum path difference and what can be the minimum path difference in this question. What can be the maximum path difference or what can be the minimum path difference in this question. So now what I will do here, I will take any general point P and let the distance from S2 be capital D, that is variable. It is not a constant, because if P moves away from S2 in this line, D will increase. If this P will move toward S2, then D will decrease, capital D will decrease. So now what I will do here, I will take any general point P and I wish to find the path difference and what is the maximum path difference and what is the minimum path difference. So I will do here, we taken a point P, I will draw in like this, something like this. So now what is the path difference over here? The path difference delta x can be written as S1P minus S2P. This is S1P minus S2P, the path difference at P. Now this is 2 lambda, this is D. So this is by Pythagoras theorem, you get that 4 lambda square plus capital D square as S1P. I put over here delta x is equal to root of 4 lambda square plus capital D minus S2P is what? Capital D. Now this is delta x. Now my question is, first I should know the limits. That what can be the maximum delta x, what can be the minimum delta x. Within that range, what is the farthest and nearest minima as according to the question. So now what I will do right now here, now you by very easy you can see over here delta x can be maximum. Delta x can be maximum when this capital D becomes 0. When this minus sign wala will become 0, this minus wala term becomes 0, then delta x will automatically become maximum. So now delta x will be, now if you take delta D as 0, you will get as 2 lambda. Means what is 2 lambda? If you make capital D 0, automatically this point P will come over here, that is equal to S1 S2 only. So what is the maximum value of delta x? Delta x maximum value is 2 lambda. And what is delta x minimum value, beta? What is the delta x minimum value? Now this, if this point P move very away, farther from S2, then what will happen? The D will become 10 to infinity. When D will tend to infinity, delta x minimum will become to 0. Now it means that after this, what does it mean? It simply means that if I rub it over here or I solve it over here, so we are getting somewhere like here, we are getting, I'll rub this part, we are getting delta x maximum 2 lambda when D is 0. When D is 0 means this point you are getting 2 lambda, and somewhere we are getting at a very far off 0, that is delta x minimum. This is delta x maximum, this is delta x minimum. So now you see 2 lambda, lambda 0, here lambda by 2, here 3 lambda by 2. Now you got 2 minima here. See, between 0 to 2 lambda, first you got the, first what you got a range, that delta x minimum can be 0, delta x maximum can be 2 lambda according to the question. Then what are the 2 minimas we are getting? We are getting 2 minimas as lambda by 2 and 3 lambda by 2. So now see, this point P is moving from S2 actually. So this is the nearest minima. This is the nearest minima. And this is coming at the farthest state, that is the farthest minima. So now what they are asking you the position, they are asking the position, means capital D, they are asking you the capital D. What is the distance of the nearest minima, what is the distance of the farthest maxima? Nothing you have to do. Now you just start over here, you put delta x as 3 lambda by 2. If I put delta x as 3 lambda by 2 over here, 3 lambda by 2 is equal to this formula I am using, okay, this formula I am putting over here. 3 lambda by 2 is equal to root of 4 lambda square plus d square minus d. If I solve it, for example, 3 lambda by 2 minus d plus d, this side, whole square is equal to 4 lambda square plus d square. If I solve d, this will be coming out to be 7 lambda by 12. Means from S2 at a distance of 7 lambda by 12, you will get which minima? You will get the nearest minima. You will get the nearest minima. Now what to do for the farthest minima? What to do for the farthest minima? Just put lambda by 2 over here. Now if you put lambda by 2 here for the farthest minima, put lambda by 2 here. Lambda by 2 is equal to root of 4 lambda square plus d square minus d, or you can write as lambda by 2 plus d whole square is equal to 4 lambda square plus d square. If you solve this d, you will get as 15 lambda by 4. So this is the d is the distance from S2, d is the distance from S2, d is the distance from S2 to a point where we will get the farthest minima, that is 15 lambda by 4. So from, what is the answer now? From S2 at a distance 7 lambda by 12, you will get the nearest minima. From S2 at a distance of 15 lambda by 4, you will get the nearest minima. So this is all about what we have done till numerical 4. And since we don't have the time right now, but all the best, and your doubts are most welcome. Whatever the doubts are there, you can share it. We will solve it. We will do our level best, and be confident while solving the numerical. All the best. Thank you. Bye.